You're listening to Write the Book Now interview and podcast show with host and creator Dr. Sharon H. Porter.
Our guest today is Shauna F. King. Shauna King has a talent and passion for connecting with adults who have chosen to serve children. Shauna is a former principal, classroom teacher, intervention specialist, and positive behavior interventions and support coordinator from Prince George's County, Maryland. In addition to being a highly sought-after presenter, Shauna serves as an adjunct instructor for LaSalle University and the Regional Training Center. As an independent consultant, Shauna is committed to supporting schools and school districts that are implementing positive and proactive initiatives. Shauna holds a bachelor's degree from Morgan State University, a master's degree in education from Bowie State, and an education specialist degree in adult learning from Walden University. An active member of her church and community, Shauna is also a proud wife and mother of two elementary-age children, Matthew and Morgan, who are the joy of her life. Thank you so much for joining Write the Book Now interview and podcast show. This is Dr. Sharon, your host and creator. I am joined today by author Shauna F. King. She is the author of School Smart is More Than Just Reading and Writing. Welcome, Shauna. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Porter, for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to have you. It's always a pleasure to have a fellow educator on the show, and especially when they're talking about education, my favorite subject. So I am so excited. We've heard this wonderful full bio of yours, but can you tell our listeners who Shauna F. King really is?
Well, honestly, I tell people I am a yelling teacher and yelling mother in recovery. And the reason I say that is because I love children, but sometimes I know that they can frustrate us. And so I have a passion now for supporting anybody who has or works with children, so that being educators and or teachers. So I work as a professional development specialist and consultant in several different school districts. I also work with an organization called the Upside Down Organization that does training specifically around brain-based trainings. And I'm a mother of two kids, and I just think that's the most important job that I have now, in addition to being very active in my church and community. So that's who I am.
Awesome. Very good. And so your book, School Smart, is more than just reading and writing. It really takes the readers, it's like a guidebook really through the year for parents and educators, actually. Can you tell us, and we know you're an educator, but what made you say, hey, I'm going to write this book now? What made you say that?
Well, what happened is in my thinking about my background as a teacher and being a teacher before I was a parent, I remember thinking I knew what all parents should do to help support kids. I hadn't had any children, but, and that's not necessarily a requirement, but I had a certain view. And then I remember once I had children and my son went to kindergarten. And I used to tell parents, well, you get away from the window, let the child grow up, he's going to be fine. Go. You're babying them to go. And then it was my turn to send my son to kindergarten, and it was like, wait a minute, no, not my baby. Wait a minute, let me just go in the first classroom with him. And they said the same thing to me. So my whole goal was I wanted to be able to say, hey, parents and teachers, we are on the same page. We want the same thing for our children. Yeah, and we don't always have to agree, but in the beginning, we're concerned about the child. And no matter what stage of the school year that we're looking at, whether it's going back to school right there around holidays or springtime or what's happening at the end, I think the adults being on the same page as to how to support the child, who is what I call the star athlete in all of this, how to train them and coach them along the way, is really key to their success, is for the adults to work together.
I love it. And so you start off really by talking about how teachers and parents have different roles, but yet, of course, we're all going in the same direction, the same destination. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, as parents, when we start off when they're young, and we all want the best for our children, no matter socioeconomic level, culture, country, whatever. Parents want the best for their children. And we start them out young, and then we put them in schools. And then there's a little bit of nervousness because we're wondering about the other adults that are going to interact with our baby. And do they have the same best interest for our child? And while I'm not saying that we should just trust everybody, for the most part, teachers, that's what we do. And I think about it as an educator, we didn't go into the field, first of all, to make a whole bunch of money, because that's not the role of most teachers. That's not what happens. We care about kids. We wanted to make a difference. We wanted to share in knowledge and really mold the next generation. And at the core, I mean, I can tell you now, you hear news stories every now and then about a bad seed, but that's in every occupation. But teachers care about kids and want the best for children the same way parents do. And so, I really wanted to say if we could stop, because sometimes I feel like, we're so always looking at what did the teacher do, or sometimes teachers are saying what didn't the parent do, If we can focus on the child, keep our eyes on the child, what do we want for them? What is the goal for them? And if we just stay student-centered, and student-centered sounds like a buzzword, especially in education. We use that term a lot. But if we truly say student-centered, child-centered throughout the school year, that's really what's going to be the best for all of our children. And that's what the adults, that's at the core what we all want.
Absolutely. And so you go on, and I love how the transition of the book, I love that because it does take you through the year. And so with summer comes, as you call it, the back-to-school blues, and that is real. That's a real thing, and mainly for educators and for students, not so much for parents, but so talk a little bit about that. But you do mention how there's a dual feeling for parents, a relief and a grieving part of that. So talk a little bit about the back-to-school blues.
Well, and I think about it now, it seems that it happens earlier and earlier. At one particular point, you didn't hear back-to-school commercials until mid-August. It can be July. And I know, as a teacher, I was like, I don't want to hear back to school nothing. Kids are saying, no, not yet. I am not buying backpacks. None of that.
Exactly.
But then as a parent now, and, I love when my kids, in the summers, and I'm able to kind of figure out what I want to do to enrich their summers with camps and spending time with them and stuff like that. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't say, okay, when's the time for y'all to go back?
Right. Exactly.
I'm like, okay, yes, let's do the countdown. So the back-to-school blues is really about the fact that there are mixed feelings. The adults, the parents, whether they're like excited, like, yes, I can get back to some type of normalcy to my schedule because camps have been different, or children kind of have been home and been eating me out of house and home, which is real with the amount.
Yes. Absolutely.
What's happening at home or whatever is happening, and then kids trying to figure out. And then it's just, okay, what do I need to get? What are the school supplies? Did we get the back-to-school letter? Do we have the bus stop thing? So there's this energy that happens around August in most households where there's children. And then even for teachers, we get that back-to-school letter that says, here's your schedule. Here's your kids.
Yes.
Oh, we've changed your room. I mean, it's almost like there's this anxiety on a lot of different levels. Yes, there is some excitement, but everybody is feeling something different. We go through it every single year, and it's just like to go ahead and acknowledge that this is the time, but what can we do to prepare for that beyond trying to catch all of Target and Walmart sales? What is really the most important thing? You don't have to buy all the child's clothes that first week in August. It's okay. You can stagger some of that out. What is it that you really want to focus on? And it's about getting some schedules back in order. Maybe some bedtimes have changed.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like, so what can you do to really make that back-to-school time, not the blues, but to really focus on what is important, maybe finishing those summer packets that we haven't quite gotten to all of.
Exactly. I love it, yes. So you go on to talk about how teachers really need to check their confidence. I really love that piece of it because, you mentioned that how we actually say students need confidence, but you put the focus on the teachers. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, there's one thing I know. In most of my career, I taught middle school, and I tell people, I did time in middle school, and middle schoolers can smell fear. And remember that very first year I taught, it was like, if you weren't confident in what you were supposed to do and what was supposed to happen for your classroom, it was almost like they could eat you alive. And so even with the, every teacher has been through that first year, and even probably second, third, fourth, you have a certain amount of nervousness or something that you're going to have about it. Am I going to say the right thing? What's going to happen? But it's like, you got to fake it till you make it. You go in there, you're prepared. We've been through training, and we know what to do. You are the leader in that room, and you need to show it. Because, we've seen classrooms, and even like back to school night, as a parent, I go into a classroom, and what am I looking for? Yes, absolutely. I want to know what my child is going to be learning in here, but I'm sensing the confidence level of the educator, and I want to know that you have a plan for this classroom. You have a goal. You're following your pace. This is what you're supposed to be doing throughout the year, and I'm looking for that level of relaxation with you as the adult that my child is with. So I tell teachers, get your confidence. You got to figure out what you can do. If you got to do some role playing, something in a mirror, do that type of stuff so that you can show on your face that you know who you are and what you're doing, it is really critical to building the relationships, not just with your students, but with your coworkers and your parents as well.
Absolutely. And so, and even saying that, it puts my mind to new teachers, first-year teachers. I personally, in my profession, work in a department where we work with new teachers, new school leaders, and you will find some angst there. So what would you say to that new teacher, brand new, just come out of college, student teaching, that's good, but it doesn't prepare you for the classroom fully. What would you say to that new teacher about that confidence?
That's awesome. And, I wish, and the advice I'm giving, I wish I had done, because I honestly fell on my face a couple of times in the beginning of my career. But I really am big on just kind of role-playing things and having some type of simulation type of thing. So, many teachers go through their student teaching types of situations and stuff like that. But practice in your car, in a mirror, stuff like that. What is that opening conversation with your class going to sound like? Do you look convincing to yourself? Would you believe yourself? I mean, even your own body language, how you're standing, where you're standing, what you're looking, even what you're wearing as a teacher is so important in how your students are going to perceive you. I mean, I'm not going to say everybody, of course, has their choice of their outfit, but there's certain things that you're going to wear that people are going to have a certain perception when they first see you. So all of those things have together. Then have a plan and have a backup plan in case that first plan doesn't work. So what are you going to do if
exactly.
doesn't work or something?
This is so true.
Because you need it.
Absolutely.
And you have to be able to work on the fly. But the kids are looking for you, and they want you to be confident. They really, their stress level will come down when they know that they're in a classroom with an adult who cares and knows what's going on. So trust yourself. Trust yourself.
Oh, very good. Okay, and so one more that I wanted to talk about is the QTIP. Quit taking it personally. I love that, Shauna. So tell me the premise behind this.
Now, Sharon, I'm going to tell you this, but you have to, look, I can't tell you to not tell nobody because I know this is going out, but I had to learn that the hard way.
Yes.
I so did. So my first few years of teaching, I used to get caught up in power struggles with children. And when I say that, I go in there saying I'm the adult, and every now and then you're going to have a child who, so what?
Exactly.
I asked you to move, and the response is not exactly what you think it should be. And what would happen is I remember I used to get caught up in power struggles with do it because I said so. I am the teacher. You're the student, those types of things. And then sometimes students would come back with me and say something that I felt might be personal. When they didn't listen to my direction, I took it as, how dare you not listen to me, Miss King? I'm the teacher. I've got the degrees. Are you kidding me? You know who I am. And I took it so personally that often my response was not always the best. It really wasn't. And so I like the Q-tip rule of quit taking it personally. So when it comes to children's behavior, sometimes their responses, often they're doing what's developmentally appropriate sometimes. And often what they're doing is what allows them to save face. And not that many teachers would do this, but every now I would do something that would cause the child to be a little embarrassed. So if I've just said across the classroom, I need you to sit down absolutely now in front of the class, not only am I looking at him, but the whole class is looking at him. So he's got to save face and maybe say something, oh, whatever, I'm not listening, whatever, because he's got to think about how he looks to his other peers. And so I have to learn that that's not personal. The child's behavior is not personal. It's not about whether or not he's, disrespecting me, all that type of stuff. Oftentimes, I have to QTIP, and I'm telling you, that acronym, I have it written even in my bedroom window or in my kitchen.
I love it.
Sometimes I need it in my car for that person who's cutting me off. They're not thinking about me. They're trying to get to where they're going. That's not personal. Why am I getting so upset? So
I love it.
That's Q-tip.
Q-tip. I love it. I will be using it. Yes, I love that. Absolutely. Yes. And Shauna, really, you go on, you talk about homework, tackling the homework, which is a major conversation in homes. You talk about the power struggles that you have, discipline, which is important, and surviving the first week. You really go through every element of the school year, which I absolutely love. And it would definitely be beneficial for parents as well as educators to really take a look at this. I really love this. Where can they purchase your book? Where can they find you if they need to contact you? If someone wants to book you, because I know you do speaking engagements, where can they find you?
Absolutely. So thanks for asking that. So the book is available now. It is on schoolsmartbook.com. schoolsmartbook.com, and it is available there. You can also connect with me directly on my Twitter page, which is I'm Shauna F. King. That's SHAUNA F. King at Twitter, and my website is the same. So if you just remember the Shauna F. King, SHAUNAFKing.com is my website, and you can buy the book at schoolsmartbook.com, or it also, as of August, will be available on Amazon and all of your electronic places as well.
Very good. And if you listeners, if you didn't catch that, it will be a part of the show notes. So you can definitely go back, look at all the links, look where she can, where you can purchase her book, and contact her. She actually comes out and she does professional development. You speak. What else do you do, Shauna?
I speak at PTA meetings. I work with church organizations. So I serve those who serve children. So whether that be in professionals, as in teachers or educators, or parents, anybody who serves children, those are the people who I serve and help to support, because I really think we all need to work together.
I love it. Well, Shauna King, it has been my pleasure to have you on the show. I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for caring about the students, our scholars, because this is so needed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon, for having me.
And guys, I want to thank you for joining us. Again, this is Dr. Sharon saying, don't wait. Write the book now.
Thank you for joining another episode of Write the Book Now. If you are contemplating writing a book, don't wait. Write the book now with Dr. Sharon. Contact her at info@writethebooknow.com. Also, take a moment to follow us on social media at Write the Book Now.